I'm late to the party, but have you checked out Colin Farrell and Apple TV's Sugar? It's Neo-Noir, but in a reimagined way. So let's get into it. Private investigator John Sugar is on the heels of a mysterious disappearance of Olivia Siegel, the beloved granddaughter of legendary Hollywood producer Jonathan Siegel. As Sugar tries to determine what happened to Olivia, he will also unearth Siegel family secrets, some very recent, others long buried. This is very much a neo-noir detective mystery, complete with voiceover narration, damsel in distress, femme fatales, and of course, twists filled with paranoia. Colin Farrell is John Sugar. He commands the screen with this easygoing, excessively observant sensibility. Now, Sugar is calm, collected, patient, smart, and calculated. He's also, though, very empathetic. It's not something you see every day in a tough guy detective, but he's sensitive to those around him, oozing concern in a way that's not skeezy or fake. Now, it took me a minute to get used to a particular storytelling device that's used throughout the show. While Sugar is narrating his thoughts, many times we're shown clips of old detective or crime movies, using small snippets to accentuate what's going on in our PI's thought process. Now, at first, these were jarring, but because they're used consistently and in ways that benefit the narrative rather than distract, I got used to them rather quickly. And then I could appreciate the value that they brought to the storyline. Now, at the heart of this season is a mystery involving a missing granddaughter of a famous Hollywood producer. James Cromwell expertly plays the producer, and he comes across as grandfatherly, but also as someone who's not squeaky clean in all areas of his past. He hires Sugar to investigate what happened to the young woman, find her, and bring her home. Now, this job then opens up Sugar's inquiries into the entire family, digging through areas just to make sure that they're not behind the disappearance. And I love all the potential suspects and villains that we meet along the course of this investigation. Some cold-hearted and threatening personas are played in an icily vicious manner, creating suspense and peril for several characters. Now, Sugar also has a handler of sorts that assigns him cases while he's not carrying out his other mysterious objectives. And as I watched, I guessed at many ideas of who Sugar is and what his affiliations meant. Thankfully, though, I wasn't on the right track. Actress Kirby plays Ruby, and she's sort of like Sugar's girl Friday, except she's the one who's more in charge and less of an assistant. But she's also the one that he relies on for his operations. Kirby creates believable mystery around her character. I mean, she's not cagey, but she certainly holds things very close to the vest, creating opportunities for us as the audience to try and decide if she has more up her sleeve than's being revealed. We've also got Amy Ryan in this, and her addition to the cast I thought was wonderful because she portrays a somewhat damaged character, but one that mixes intrigue with empathy, and she just becomes this wonderful balance to Sugar. They work off each other in ways that don't really detract from the other's performance, but each displays strength, resolve, and curiosity, which can then get them into trouble. Now, the series is 8 episodes, and they range anywhere from 30-ish to 50-ish minutes, each taking up just the amount of time needed for that particular episode's arc. And now that the entire season is released, this is a very satisfying binge. And the only reason I had to stop watching between episodes was because I was traveling for work. Otherwise, I would have been on this bad boy non-stop. The storytelling itself, it's patient, like a noir, but the urgency and intensity of the pacing keeps it from feeling slow or dragging. And the only times I really got impatient, outside of just wanting to skip the recaps and the intros at each episode, were when something incredibly dramatic or perilous would happen, and then the story would wait a beat to show us the aftermath. I mean, this is in no way a negative, because it then fully hooked me. Now, I want to say around in episode 3 or 4, something was said or shown that made me guess at an insight into a portion of the story. I wasn't certain, but I did turn out to be right later on. Now, I am absolutely vague on this because it is a massive spoiler. And even though I have no idea how I made it to the show this late without it being spoiled for me, I don't want to do that for you either. Trust me, if you have not seen the show yet, don't go looking online for explanations or spoiler reviews because it is certainly going to ruin any surprises that the mystery has in store. But also, within this realm, I can see how some people may not appreciate this particular story aspect. And it really does reinvent the way that the neo-noir is presented, creating new areas of intrigue that somehow surprisingly still fit within the traditional presentation. For the filming of this, there are a lot of different camera techniques that are utilized. Some of them can be mildly distracting, especially when it's noticeable that a shot is from a handheld position. Shaky cam, it isn't extreme, but the movement can be discombobulating. Other times, though, the creativity of shots, I thought it was wonderful. There's a small moment when Sugar is driving his car around, and while we're experiencing the handheld perspective, the camera moves from Sugar's hand on the shifter to then his reflection in the rearview mirror. It just captures this narrow and minimal framing of our character, but one that still allows us to see the determination and emotion in his face. And I think overall, even with some distracting shaky cam, the cinematography is stunning to watch, and it creates an enveloping atmosphere that can highlight both the beauty or tragedy of a setting. Now, I love how gritty the story is. Rarely will we meet characters that don't have something shady in their lives. And this enables the narrative to create suspicion and doubt around so many of the players. The search for the missing young woman introduces all sorts of sketchy aspects. And throughout this area of the series, I was constantly working to catch any clues that might provide the answer before the reveal came. No, I didn't figure it out at all when it came to this area. I mean, the mystery, it is solid and very obscured. And even if you're not someone who tries to solve the case as it goes along, you can sit down for the ride and enjoy all of the twists that come about without racking your brain to see if you missed anything. So overall, Sugar is both the series I thought it would be and a story I would have never imagined. Colin Farrell in the title role is brilliant, disappearing into the character to create a charming and caring investigator who doesn't enjoy violence, but will also put an enemy down if necessary. The central mystery is engaging and layered, creating multiple opportunities for incorrect guesses. The background story is also intriguing, full of questions and regret, adding complexities to an already twisty and captivating narrative. Amy Ryan and Kirby are standouts, adding the necessary doubt, misdirection, and charisma to their beguiling characters. And while not everyone may enjoy the resolution, the way Sugar reinvents the neo-noir genre is bold and uniquely subtle. There's no sex, some nudity, a bunch of profanity, and then a ton of brutal violence. I give Sugar 5 out of 5 couches. And even though I know the reveal now, I still want to go back and revisit this story for the characters and the mystery. And while this does also resolve in a way that doesn't need a season 2, I'm definitely on board for seeing more with John Sugar. So are there any noirs or neo-noirs that you love to watch? LA Confidential and The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, they're two that I've enjoyed. Let me know yours, though, in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for couching with me.